Once upon a time, in a village by the shores of Nigeria, there was a young and handsome prince named Oluwaseun. He was the son of the great king, a ruler beloved by all for his wisdom and fairness. However, it wasn't just the throne that caught the attention of many, it was the heart of the prince that many sought to win. Yet, Oluwaseun had no interest in the young women of the village. His heart was already claimed, but not by any earthly being. One fateful day, while walking along the shores of the great ocean near his village, the prince witnessed something strange, a figure beneath the waves. It was a mermaid, with shimmering scales that glistened like gold and a voice that carried through the wind like a sweet song. Her name was Adarunk, and she was the queen of the mermaids. Her beauty and elegance enchanted Prince Oluwaseun, and soon the two fell deeply in love. They would meet in secret, beneath the moonlight, in the shallow waters where the ocean met the land. Adarunk shared her dreams with the prince, and in return, he promised her a life of freedom and love beyond the waves. But the love between a mermaid queen and a human prince was not meant to be embraced by all. The village people, particularly some of the elders, feared the magic and mystery of the sea. They believed the union would bring misfortune and chaos to their land. Rumors spread quickly, and soon, word reached the king's ears. One day, the king, accompanied by his men, called a meeting in the village square. The villagers gathered, murmuring in fear and curiosity. The prince stood before the crowd, holding Adarunk's hand, but his love was met with harsh words. "How can you, a prince, marry a creature of the sea?" one elder shouted. "The gods will be angered, and disaster will follow." Others echoed similar fears, warning of the wrath of the spirits and the ruin of their people. The king, although wise, was torn between his love for his son and his duty to the villagers. But in his heart, he knew the prince's love was true. Despite the objections, the prince refused to abandon Adarunk. On the next market day, when the village square was filled with people buying and selling, Oluwaseun decided to take Adarunk among the villagers. He wanted them to see her, to understand that she was not some cursed being, but a queen with a heart as pure as theirs. The villagers gasped when they saw the mermaid queen standing tall and proud in the square, her flowing hair adorned with seashells, her eyes radiant and full of life. But not all were pleased. One jealous and suspicious woman, who had long envied the prince's kindness, approached with a bucket of water. "Let's see if this is truly a mermaid or just a charlatan," she sneered. In an instant, she threw the water upon Adarunk. The moment the water touched her skin, the mermaid's form began to shimmer and distort, and to the horror of everyone present, she turned back into a fish, splashing onto the ground. The villagers gasped in shock, and the prince's face turned red with anger. "How dare you?" he shouted, rushing to Adarunk's side. He cradled the fish in his arms, his heart breaking at the sight of his beloved now trapped in her fish form. The queen's voice echoed in his mind, but it was too late to reverse the spell. The woman who had poured the water stood back, triumphant in her cruelty. The prince stood tall, holding Adarunk's fish form close to his chest. "You will not take her from me," he declared to the crowd, his anger burning brighter than ever. "I will not allow fear and hatred to destroy what is pure. You all will see the love we share, and nothing will break it." With that, the prince left the village square, determined to find a way to restore Adarunk. He sought the wise elders of the sea, who promised that only true love's courage could undo the curse. The prince embarked on a perilous journey, battling through storms, battling his own doubts, until he returned with the knowledge to lift the curse. When he finally stood before Adarunk, who had remained in her fish form, the prince spoke words of pure devotion, and through his love and sacrifice, the spell was broken. Adarunk transformed back into her beautiful mermaid form, and together, they swam into the ocean, far away from those who could not understand. The villagers, though still wary, slowly came to accept the union. The love between the prince and the mermaid queen became a legend, reminding everyone that love, even when misunderstood, could overcome any obstacle, and that it was a power that no one could break. And so, the prince and his mermaid queen lived happily ever after, their hearts forever entwined in a love that spanned both land and sea.